Um, since this is week 3 of our 90-day game plan, I was just asking Katie how everything was going, and she's like, it's hard. And I said, I know. So we were, hey, Kelly. Is that Kelly? Or is that you, Megan?
What do you mean? It's just me.
Oh, it looked like Kelly in the dark there.
I'm Harmony. I just got on. I couldn't get it to work for my Zoom.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I'll just be in the dark. That's okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm late.
No. It's okay. So we have Megan and Cassidy and Katie and Harmony. So yay, and here's little Polly. So anyway, what we were talking about is, and there's Kate. Good night, Kate. So what we were talking about is just being a mom and the balance. And what I was telling her that, she was sharing with me the people that she reached out to and, the lack of responses. And I said to her, one of the things that we have to remember is that everyone gets told no. Like Kelly Dipperhoff, who makes multi-million of dollars a year. When we were at the 2-Star training in Spokane, she said that someone said no to her. Laura Stevens, Kayla Kraft, they all talk about the no's that they've gotten, but we don't hear that or we don't see that. We just see their success. And both of them at the 2-Star training, they said, they did not have balance. They basically gave up a year and a half of their life with their kids, and that's all they did with Isogenic. And that's one of the things we were talking about, like you have to make a choice, and I'm not saying which one is right or wrong, but we're not going to be able to balance everything. So don't even try. So it's either going to be, you're going to be focusing a lot of energy on Isogenics and telling your family and your kids, this is what I'm doing. As a result, when this is done, this is what our goal is going to be. Or, you're going to focus more time with your family and your kids and whatever you have going on. And that's okay to do. But then we can't expect, the results that, people like Kelly or Kayla or Laura have. You just have to look at yourself. And one of the quotes that Susan Sly said, which I love, is you can't expect $1 million results with 10-cent effort. So,
right.
I love that quote, and it's so true. So anyway, that's what we were talking about before the rest of you lovely ladies came on.
And along with that, obviously, is the comparison game. That was part of what we were chatting with Katie as well. It's you get caught up in the comparison game. I do it a lot because, I look and see what's happening in other people's business centers and obviously want it for ours. But then, we don't always know, obviously, what they are all doing behind the scenes as well. So, and different people are set up, differently. And mentioned just as a reference to Paulson's, and Michelle's been doing great, but she has been putting in a ton of effort to it. But they also know a bunch of people. They're business owners. They have a little bit more flexibility, perhaps an income than some of the rest of us do to be able to offer price and stuff. But good for them. You have to be cautious about getting caught up in the comparison game, and I'm speaking that for us as well because I have a tendency to do it even more than Ken does, because I'm the one who I'm trying to work this. So it's a little easier for me to get caught up in it because I'm seeing more of what other people are doing. So.
Hey Megan, do you know you can mute your line even though you're on your phone driving?
Oh.
Thank you. Sorry, it's just really staticky. We hear a lot of background, so thank you. Good night, Kate. Okay, so Kayla Kraft was our guest speaker for our Monday night call. So Harmony and Cassidy, if you're ever, I know Harmony has been the last couple, but Cassidy, if it ever works for you, it's great. Otherwise, we'll always take notes and give highlights. But Kayla was our speaker, and all of you know Kayla Kraft and her story. She was a nurse, and now she's a multimillionaire. And her goal actually is to make $1 million a month. That's her goal. I'm like, whew. I'd settle for $1 million in a lifetime, but hey.
Wow.
Yeah, $1 million a month is her goal. Yep. So we just took notes, and that's what we wanted, because it's obviously whenever you get, information from someone like her, you listen very attentively. But One of our things that we need to focus on always is, as you're developing a team, you want to pour love into your team, but our number one goal has to be prospecting and trying to get new people. That's where we should be spending 80% of our time. And I know we always hear that, but it's very easy to get caught up into, like for me, listening to podcasts or answering Facebook messages or, reaching out to my current cleansers or, looking at my downline and so I can spend oodles of time doing that, and that's all great. And I'm not saying don't message me. That's not what I'm saying. But I also my focus needs to be on getting new blood in, because that new life and that new blood is what's going to keep our business growing. Because we have tons of people that are not using anymore. So if you just focus on your current people, they may or may not continue with you. Obviously, we hope they do, and we pour love into them so they have a great experience, so they do, but that's not a guarantee. So that's why you always want to be prospecting. So that was her big thing on Monday night, was the things that she says as far as prospecting. So one of the things that she says, one of her taglines is one of her taglines, and I was talking to Megan about this yesterday when I talked to her. So this may or may not be for you, but would you be opening to hear what I have to say? So and I know Eric Worre says something very similar to that in his GoPro book. And the reason why she says that is because it gives people kind of an out if they don't feel comfortable. Then we know, because I know that's one of the things that we all hate are the crickets. We reach out to people and they don't give us an answer. So you're wondering, did they just not read it? Did they not pay attention? And that's what I was talking to Megan too about yesterday. Like, how many times have you and I read a message that we've received on email or Facebook and we're like, oh yeah, you look at it, but it doesn't really retain in your head. And you're like, I got to get back to that. And then you get busy with life and you forget about the message. So we can't assume that people have read it and they're not interested, which is why we need to, follow up in a couple of days. But if you say, this may or may not be for you, but if I sent you some information, would you be, willing to take a look at it? It kind of gives them the opportunity that if they're not interested, and that's what we want to know, either yes or no. The crickets are the people that drive us all crazy, right? So I really liked how she worded that. And another thing she said is we don't have to be the expert. And actually, Cassidy, I was going to let you know this, but Chris Deeg, he sent me a message today. He's like, I'm doing Healthy Mind and Body. I'm reading on Isagenix business. I'm doing all this research, and then I'm going to reach out to people. And I'm like, no, you do not do that, because we're never, ever going to be an expert in this. There's always new science. There's always new, with social media. We're never going to be an expert. And we don't want to be an expert, because if we come across as an expert, people aren't going to want to share. They're going to be intimidated because they're going to be like, well, I don't know as much information as Ann and Paul, so, I don't feel like I could share this. I can't do what you're doing. So what they had told us in the 2-star training, that if someone walks away from talking to us thinking, how in the world are they that successful doing this? Then we know we're doing a good job. Yeah. Because we want to be ourselves. We want to be true. We want to be genuine. And we don't want to come across as a science geek, because then that's intimidating to people. Yeah, it might get somebody to sign up because they're like, ooh, it's intriguing to them. But then for them to share it, they might feel like they're not, good enough to share, because they don't know all the information that we do.
If you get a science geek, put them in contact with another science geek, and then be done with it. And let them bring, let them share, or get them on a 3-way call together. But for the most part, it really comes down to people want to see that whatever you're doing is duplicatable. And if we're throwing out information that the average person says, there's no way I can retain that and recite that. And if that's how I have to talk to people, maybe this isn't for me. Like Ann said, you want them to walk away going, man, if this knucklehead can do it and be successful, man, I can do this for sure. Yep. So that's basically how you want to leave.
And honestly, I felt that way seeing some of the people that were like 3 and 4 stars in Spokane. I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this. So, and even seeing at Celebration, Cassidy was there. Looking at the people that walk across the stage, these old, bigger, fat women, because everyone thinks, I'm sorry, older weight, older and heavier set people, but like there's millionaires that were not the thin, fit, beautiful people that we envision.
Mm-hmm.
They're all shapes and sizes, all ages, all colors. So that was kind of it actually felt good to see that.
There's the one couple that wears the wacky like trash suits or whatever.
Crazy outfits. There were managers on stage that have been that are millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
So managers, you can still be millionaires. Okay. So another suggestion that she gave us: don't prospect at the first meeting. So if you meet somebody new, you want to build. People are going to sign up if they know you, trust you, and like you. So you want to, you don't want to not talk to them. You want to talk to them, get to know them, but don't bring up anything with Isagenix. I mean, you can talk about being healthy or whatever, but she just really strongly recommended that you don't bring up Isagenix on your first meeting. Okay, so this is one of the quotes that I wrote down. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's really what it's about. And another reason why you don't bring up Isagenix right away, like really getting to know that person, finding out their why, what they're interested in, what they're, are they wanting to lose weight? Are they tired? I know Harmony's had a couple people she's just added to the team page because they're tired. That's what she found out their problem, or their issue or their need is they're tired, So really finding out what it is that's going on, and going from there. So exposure, that's always the thing. And this is a thing Megan and I talked about a lot yesterday, is like you sometimes feel like you're getting in a rut. Like how else do I, how do I reach out to people, or how do I increase my exposure? And we talked a lot about the Facebook algorithm. And did you know that if you change your profile picture, Facebook likes that and it will show on more people's feeds? Which I did not know that. So she recommended like every couple of months, if you can, change your profile picture. But with that being said, make that profile picture either you and your husband, even you and your kids, but make it
super professional,
a professional picture. So, that's not always possible based on the pictures that you have, but apparently Facebook likes profile picture changes. And then in the Facebook algorithm, that's why you always want to try to comment on each other's posts, because did you know when you comment, it puts it back up on the top of the feed. So something that Paul and I, we, strategically, like if he puts a post, I'll wait until the next day to comment, because then it brings it right back up. And then so people that may not have even seen it, it'll be visible again. Like this fall challenge that we're doing, I waited till the second day to go back and comment to bring it back up. So, you don't have to feel like you have to comment on something right away, make a mental note, for all of us, for each other, and go back and comment maybe a day later, or even putting an emoji. It doesn't matter. Under the comments, it brings it back up. And then when you instant message people, I always, on their birthday, send them a private message, because if you're instant messaging people with the Facebook algorithm, then if you're instant messaging people, your stuff is going to show up on their feed higher than not. So that's another thing. The more contact you can have via instant message, the more your stuff will show up on their Facebook feed. And if we're promoting healthy lifestyle, family, or why, whatever it is, that's what, oh good, thank you, Cassidy. That's what we need to do. That's what we want. We want our stuff to be showing up on people's feeds. So, so that's one thing that I do. And then another thing, when I was talking to Megan, I don't know if you guys have seen on the top right of your computer, kind of the news feed. You know how it says, Paul Evenson commented on blah, blah, blah's post. Well, I might not be friends with that person, but then I can click on it to see, I'm like, oh, what's Paul commenting on? That's actually how Sheila Winky found Jess. Jess and Sheila weren't even friends on Facebook. One of Sheila's people she was friends with commented on something of Jess's, and Sheila went to look at it, and then she started kind of scoping out Jess and seeing what Jess was all about. That's how so we have to try to use Facebook, and I know, right? So we have to try to, it's almost like a math, a science behind the whole Facebook thing. So, another thing I suggested to Megan, I'm like, go through your high school yearbook and start friending people, go through your husband's yearbook, and start friending people, because we want to increase our friend exposure. and then, be instant. I mean, even people that I don't even know on their birthday, I'm like, hey, happy birthday, have a great day. I mean, I don't care if they don't even respond to me. I still instant message them. So because of how Facebook works, our stuff will be higher up on their feed.
And I normally always include that person's name in the wish as well, just because, at least for me, I've seen a better rate of actual message responses when I'll say, something like, just, hey, wishing you a great birthday, Jim, and then I put in his last name until his name pops up highlighted like Facebook will do, and then, obviously delete his last name so it's just his name highlighted, but then, that will pop up on his attention screen that I actually specifically sent him a message to wish him happy birthday. And it's not a matter of, trusting that they're going to scroll down through all, 60 people who may have wished him happy birthday just on their timeline and then hope that he reads yours and responds. So I normally always write some kind of birthday wish that includes that person's name so it can highlight it.
But you're instant messaging people.
I'm instant messaging them, yeah. But I'm still incorporating their name so it highlights it.
Okay. What I mean? Okay. So when we're branding ourselves and, when we're, again, because so there's this new girl that we have on our team. Her name is Liz, and she's a Beachbody girl. And she said the big thing that's turned her off to Beachbody is because everyone's like, Beachbody, Beachbody, Beachbody. I don't know if you guys know a Beachbody coach or if you're friends with any of them.
Is that Shakeology?
Yeah. So anyway.
Eliana's teacher is using that. I just found that out this morning.
Well, you need to send Eliana some samples to give to her teacher.
I just found it on Facebook, so we'll see what I can do.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, it was kind of interesting because Liz is like, that's actually turning me off. And she liked how with Isagenix, how she noticed that, because she's friends with Megan too, how we don't really talk about Isagenix. We talk about a healthy lifestyle, having more energy, what our passions are, our family, health. Okay, bye, Cassidy. Good luck. Cassidy has to go. She has a prospect.
Bye, Cassidy. Thanks.
It's recorded. All right, it's recorded. Hopefully it will post this time. So anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, so it was actually quite interesting to hear that from someone like that. And I'm like, you're right, because I have a couple of friends, like I said, that I'm friends with that are on Facebook. That's all. It's kind of like it works. That's all they talk about is it works, it works. And so hearing it from somebody that is a Beachbody coach, and she's like, I hated doing that. I hated how they marketed because that's not real. That's not genuine. So it just really validated, what Kayla was saying was to be real, be vulnerable, be positive. And actually I'd had a conversation, with Cassidy, we don't always have to have this positive stuff. I mean, we're real people. I mean, Paul put a very, very nice post up about how difficult things have been for he and I. I mean, we talked a little bit about this last week. It's okay. We all have hard days. We all fall short. We all, so we don't have to pretend like it's all rainbows and unicorns and sunshine and lollipops all the time. So because people like that. People like when they can resonate with us. So liking your post. If somebody likes a post.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did Liz talk about her product experience and the difference between the two systems?
Yes. And Megan, you can chime in if you want, but she loves it. She was actually on last night on that virtual Facebook thing.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
I know. I was like, wow. I know. I haven't had time to message Jess. I know they put a lot of work into that, but
there was a lot of activity with that.
But she is she loves it. She's already down a couple of pounds. She's, just started like 5 days ago. She said there's way more nutrition. I mean, Beachbody does not have a cleansing thing. She loves the sports performance line. She's really, really, really liking it. The only thing she said to Megan, but she didn't say to me, was that the shake, she felt like it wasn't enough for her, but she's also a breastfeeding mom and she works out. So, it's okay to add, like veggies or, just be careful what you're adding to your shake. You don't want to add a bunch of carbs or something with a bunch of sugar.
Cob of corn.
Yeah. Or, you know what, if you're hungry in 2 hours, eat again. I mean, that's okay. You know, it doesn't have to keep you full for 4 hours. You know, some people it does. If it doesn't, that's okay. So everyone's different. And that's, you know, a part of our coaching and why we need to stay close with people when we are coaching them, because how our body metabolized it and how full it kept us does not mean that's how full it's going to keep the next person. So, so anyway, Megan, did she say anything else to you?
No, she just could tell a huge difference in the nutrition and just that she was feeling so much better. That was the biggest thing that she said. She's like, I just can't believe how I'm feeling. Like, I felt so bogged down when I was doing Shakeology, and I don't feel that way at all with Isagenix. So that was one of her main components of what she was telling me.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, to hear that from her is, And she's been really helpful with Megan, because Megan's sister-in-law does Shakeology, and she was just asking more about it because I don't know a lot about it. And so she's been a really helpful resource. So
Megan, is she your, did you enroll her?
No,
I have no clue who she is.
And I've never met her either.
Enrolled her, reached out to her, or how that.
This is how it works, you guys. It's not who we know, it's who we'll meet. So we enrolled someone from our church. They enrolled their daughter-in-law and son. The daughter-in-law enrolled her cousin, Kristen. Kristen, who I've never met, enrolled Liz. I'm telling you, there's like 12 people in Minnesota right now that are growing their little business, and I've never met them. So it's all in who you're going to meet. I've never met Kristen, and Kristen's already enrolled 12 people. I've never met her. Mm-hmm. She had the baby when I posted the ISA baby. That's Kristen.
Okay.
And Liz just signed up. So anyway, I know it's crazy. So anyway, going back to when you post something and people like it, Kayla said to message them and ask them how they're doing. And, like I said, stalk them on Facebook first and, hey, thank you for liking my post. And then, and I mean, if you just want to leave it at, at that, you can, and see if they respond and get a conversation going that way. Or if you wanted to go back up and say, thank you for liking my post. I would love to tell you a little bit more about what my family's doing, or I'd love to tell you why I have so much energy, or why, depending on what the post is, it may or may not be for you, but would you like to know more? And and that's one thing I honestly have never done. And I know you've done more of that. I've never sent messages to people over a like. I've only sent messages to people if they commented on, I want more information, or what are you doing? So that's even new for me.
That's how I am starting to increase my friend base too. So I go out to, out through my posts and like whatever, just like the anniversary one, for instance. I mean, that had a lot of hits, a lot of likes, but then I go down actually through the like list. And of course you got to scroll down through, because most everybody that's, that initially likes is you're already friends with on Facebook, but then there's other people that all of a sudden are popping in and chiming in and seeing it because they're seeing on somebody else's feed. And then I go and say, how many friends do we have in common, and who is this person? And I can click on them and just go get a quick look at their profile and go, and then I'll send them a friend request. And I mean, most of my posts like that I've been doing recently, I've gotten like half a dozen new friends that have accepted my friend request, just because I've scrolled down through the people who just liked my post and reached out to them. And I may not have reached out to them with a message, but at least, if they're in my friend base now they're going to start to, see my stuff more regularly than maybe just a one-time deal. And, oh, that was a great post and I liked it. And then I don't see them again for another year, if that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, on average, I'm probably getting, half a dozen new friends on my friend list by doing that. So.
And another thing, kind of going back to commenting on posts, responding to people if they comment something, going back and, thank you, or, like responding, because again, that brings it back up, and so that increases your exposure. So you don't have to thank them right away. Wait till the next day and then go through. And you don't have to comment on every single one. Just pick a couple, thank you very much, or, whatever. So just really be intentional about that. Okay, so another thing, and I've heard this from Danny several times, but, we kind of have to play hard to get a little bit with this, so we don't want to come across that we're desperate for them to sign up, because we're all still new to this, and we can get excited like, oh my gosh, someone's interested, and they say they're going to sign up, and they're like, are you going to sign up? Are you going to sign up? But we have to, the same as when people want information. I mean, you want to get back to them within 24 hours, 48 at the absolute most, but again, don't come across as desperate, They talk a lot about, dangling that carrot, and they refer to a lot as dating. When you go on the first date with somebody, you don't spill everything. So you want to make it.
Unless it's Bachelor in Paradise.
That's true. So you want, so again, don't come across that we're desperate for these people. We have to remember this is a gift. I'm sharing this with you. Like even Paul, we're trying to meet with somebody and he wants to be a business builder. He's like, I can do Friday night. And Paul, wanted to say, because we had something going on. And I'm like, no, you're keeping your plans. That doesn't, you don't have to cancel everything that you have scheduled to meet with somebody. If it truly works, great, but don't change your life for it, because you don't even know if they're going to sign up, number one. But number two, we still, yeah.
Well, and I messaged him back and I just said, hey, you know what? Friday's not going to work. I already have plans, so I'll have to make it another time. You'll have to find another time. And then he already shot back something about, well, what about Saturday? Can we make Saturday work then? So I'm like, originally he made it sound like Friday was the only day that was going to work for him in the next couple. And, once I said no, he suddenly found another time. So,
yeah. So just, use your best judgment on that. Okay, this life is not about us. God has a purpose for us, and all we have to do is invite people. So inviting people to look at the opportunity. All right, we have 10 minutes. I like this because it keeps us on track. So, again, let me close this out so I don't have to keep looking at that. Our job as the CEO of our company, and Laura Stevens says this a lot too, our job is to present the opportunity. And answer questions. Our job is not to make people sign up or to make or persuade them. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. So again, our job is just to tell people about it. Let's see.
You got to be getting down there. That was most of what you
focus on getting your attitude right. Don't talk to people until, she said, don't talk to people. Make sure they're watching some sort of video, whether it's the Just Cleanse or I love Peter Greenlaw, that one that Jess had on the
Why Diets Fail Us.
Yeah. That one's good. But if they want to hear more, like Laura Stevens, if someone's like, what is this that you're doing? She says, this is her little tagline, I'm partnered with a health and wellness company called Isagenix. Have you heard of it? And then from there, she'll send them a video, 8 to 10 minute video. And then she'll, follow up with them, either three-way or, instant message or a phone call, which I really like, because then the videos do all of the work for you. And the videos do an awesome, I love the Just Cleanse video.
A lot, to be honest, too.
Yeah. And then one more thing that we talked about the crickets before. I like this. One more thing that Kayla said, if people don't respond to you, you can say, okay, I'll take you off my list. It seems like you're very busy and maybe this isn't the time for what I have to offer. She said almost every time she'll get people to come back to be like, wait, no, you don't have to take me off the list, because.
Say that line again, please.
If people don't respond to you, say, I'll take you off my list. It seems like you're very busy. And maybe you don't have time for what I have to offer. So again, you can kind of word it how you want, how you feel comfortable with it, but that's something that she does for the crickets, the people that she's been, and these are people that have initially, showed interest in her or like commented on some of the things, and you've been kind of having some conversations with them about Isagenix, and then you hear nothing. And then like Katie, you're doing your follow-up, or even after if you've followed up a couple of times, you know, and it's specific to Isogenics, that's when she would say, you know, it seems like you're really busy right now. I'll take you off my list. You know,
I was using that line today a little. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a bugaboo. We've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
But I do like to reach out to my friends when there's a promotion going on, and this is a big savings. But I can take you off my list if you prefer. So.
Yeah, if they don't message you back saying yes, take me off your list, then I wouldn't take them off. I mean, I would wait for them, you know, to say something, because you've given them the opportunity, you know, to come off.
Yeah, giving them permission to.
Yeah, and if they don't respond to you, then that probably means, I mean, I would read it as, okay, well, they still, I mean, I have a lady, Brenda Klein. I've been honestly talking to her for, 2.5 years almost. She was on last night. She still hasn't signed up, but I am not giving up. I mean, because I sent her the invite to the Facebook lunch party and she was on. So you don't know. You never know.
That's cool.
Yeah, but one thing, just, you know, with your own personal cleansers, one thing I wanted to, you know, as far as making people happy, you know, they were talking about, so if people have a positive experience, they share positive experiences to 9 people. If they have a negative experience, they share it with 22 people. So with our business, whether it's, you know, we all have our own people on our team now, we want to make sure they have a positive experience, and how, you know, we've talked about the welcome letter. We've talked about the coaching calls. We've talked about the welcome phone calls. You know, but just getting creative and making their experience the most positive that you can, because if they have a positive experience, then they're going to be more likely wanting to share the opportunity, you know, share it with others. And then they're going to be more likely wanting to find out how they can get their products paid for. You know, so a couple of the things, you know, finding out again what their goals are and figuring that out through the associate interview, however you do it. If you modify your own thing that Jess gave us, or if you want to do it over the phone or however, but when they reach goals or when they're close to reaching their goals, you know, send them a card. Or like with Harmony last week, she had, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I mean, just her transformation, asking, hey, can I share your success on Facebook? And doing a thing and saying a huge shout out to blah, blah, blah for doing blah, 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 you know, whatever it is, but, you know, making sure your person's okay with it. Even if it's their first day cleansing, and I know, Katie, I've seen this with you, so-and-so's cleansing today, and, you know, or so-and-so finished their cleanse, or if people are, you know, just telling people about their success, because we all feel, you know, good about that. So really being their cheerleader and not being afraid to, you know, send them a private message, or, you know, like I said, a card, or putting a post on your wall or on their wall and tagging, you know, whatever it is that you want to do. Let's see. And do you guys all know, okay, and another thing, deliver more than what your cleansers expect. That was just one of the things that I wrote down. So, do you guys all ever look in your back office at your blueprints?
I don't look at my blueprints. I have in the past. It just doesn't seem like. What do you look in your blueprints for? I just look at my downline orders.
Well, like you can see on there, like if somebody's close to being consultant or manager, or if they've enrolled somebody, you can see in your downline. So maybe we'll do that next week. We'll spend a little bit of time just showing you a little bit about what to look for, because there's a lot of information. You know, it helps you kind of dig through your tree a little bit, or at least kind of see, because then you can even, so if you're seeing that somebody like 3 or 4 down from you, so like if Mandy's, or Katie, for example, if Mandy enrolled Kara and Kara enrolled somebody, like you're not always going to be able to, it's harder to follow that. And if you see it on your tree, you know, and then digging down deep in your tree and, you know, pulling up Kara. I mean, I reach out to Kara a lot. I mean, I'm the one that invited her to the launch party or the nutrition party, but, you know, really digging down and, you know, pouring love into people, because that's when they feel, because they're like, oh my gosh, you know, Ann reached out to me, or Katie reached out to me. I mean, that's a big deal to people. So you can find that information a little bit easier by looking in your blueprint, or seeing if they're close, you know, to being consultant, and just sending a message and saying, hey, you already enrolled one person. Did you know that if you find another person, you can, hit our first level in our business and get $50 and, and then kind of looking to see, if they're on a strong leg and they have build up volume, maybe they'll cycle. We can't assume that the person that enrolled them is doing that because, depending on who enrolled them, they may not even know that. So, that's what the blueprint is really helpful for. So I don't know. I mean, I know Harmony, you're just starting, so I don't know if that would be helpful or not. Otherwise, Katie, I can always just, go over it with you sometime too, but.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, we have 1:47 left. So is there anything?
Oh, I like that you recapped that call from Kayla, but how come those Monday night calls are so secretive?
Well, okay. So they wanted to do it so you could register. Okay. So in order to do it for free, there were only a limited number. So they did it per zip code. So you could, she had it posted in Believe, and then you had to go and whatever. But there's a lot of people that weren't able to register because they wanted to do it a free thing, and you could only do 50. So when you're looking at a team of however many thousand they have, so that's why they're doing it per zip code, so that people could come to each other's houses. So, I mean, it's not to be, I thought they were going to be, they do record them. I don't know where they put the recordings. I've never seen the recordings. Otherwise, I'd obviously give it to you guys. So it's just something they're doing on this 90 days. So,
okay.
But we're
little nuggets from that.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it every Monday. So, obviously we'll continue to read because, I mean, it's such good information. We want to, for you guys to have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was helpful. Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
I had another question, but I think I'm getting sleepy. I can't even remember what it was, but I'll message you.
Just message me.
I will.
Keep your fingers crossed. I can figure out how to post this. The feedback last time, it was all gibberish. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what
It's
happened.
like digitizing or something. That's weird.
You might need to pass on to Mandy all the good notes that you took.